Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is good old MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Foyle, Michael Bullock, and Dee Woodson. Guys, we're gonna get into all the action in just a matter of minutes. Of course, we got Smackdown live, and we're also going to recap and we're also going to preview the Wrestlemania Backlash that's going to be going down this Sunday night live on Peacock. But before we get into all that, obviously we're going to have to take a minute and talk about a very horrific situation that went down earlier today out in North Carolina. The man, as you see pictured on the screen right now, is former ECW superstar New Jack. Jerome Young is the guy's name. He was New Jack, one of the most controversial figures we've ever had in professional wrestling. For some of his hardcore antics, for a lot of his shoot promos that he did in his day, even almost attempting to murder a wrestler in a balcony fight. He was one of those guys who stirred the hornet's nest on a number of individuals, cutting promos or cutting what we call shoot promos on the likes of people like Terry Reynolds, to Jerry the King Lawler, to many people. A controversial figure in wrestling has indeed passed away earlier this afternoon due to a massive heart attack at the age of 58. Was confirmed by his wife. Jennifer Young, confirmed earlier today that New Jack had passed away, had a massive heart attack, and died. Look, whatever you may think of him outside of the ring, and trust me, there's a lot of fans that do not like New Jack, his antics, his attitude, whatever he brought to the table. But this man was without a doubt the original gangster of ECW, a three-time ECW World Tag Team Champion with Mustafa Asid, known as the Gangsters way back when, and then had a run with John Cornette, was the other time as well. Was also Smoky Mountain Wrestling World Tag Team Champion with Mustafa Asid as well in his career. But like I said, no matter if you loved him or you hated him, New Jack was always one of those guys that you really knew. Once you heard his music, you knew it was gonna be a bad night. He always came out with a trash can or with a shopping cart full of goodies, full of plunder. In the immortal words of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and whatever plunder he was able to find, 9 times out of 10, those weapons were being used. Look, whatever you may feel or whatever you may think, it's definitely a tragedy whenever a wrestler passes away. And for a lot of the hardcore people, like a Derek Ferreira, Derek even posted in on his Facebook. He sent it via our messenger and said that this one was a little too close to home. That's how I feel about this death as well. And I actually reported it to my boys on Discord. And I can say a lot of them are pretty gutted right about now. New Jack was a hero to them as well. And it's a tragedy. It's a hard day for the hardcore wrestling enthusiasts, especially the ECW generation. Not many people on the WWE side or not many people of the WCW side knows New Jack really well. New Jack made a couple of appearances on TNA Wrestling, especially the Hardcore Justice show. You saw him there, but relatively speaking, if you're looking for the glory days of New Jack, then you can't go any more further than the days of ECW. This was really he was an ECW staple, one of the ECW originals way back when. Like I said, a very controversial figure. There's no doubt about it. He was definitely not one of the favorites of ECW. Some of the antics that he did was borderline almost criminal with some of the stuff that he had done in wrestling. There was a moment that everybody still talks about in the wrestling world that garnered a lot of heat from New Jack. That was what they called the Metro train incident that dated back in 1997, I believe it was. It was one of those type of events that everybody remembers and that everybody knows. It was actually 1996. So, I mean, you can say whatever you want to say about him, but he will never be the same. When you talk about legends with the hardcore era, then obviously New Jack is one of those names. A la the Sandman, a la Terry Funk, a la Mick Foley. He is a flag bearer for that kind of wrestling. You know, you have your mat technicians like, you know, Bret the Hitman Hart, like a Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero, and then you got the Lucha Libre of Rey Mysterio and Mil Mascaras, and, you know, like those guys. When you talk about pioneers of the hardcore wrestling era, New Jack is one of them. My thoughts and prayers are with the family here tonight. Anthony Florio, if you want to say, I know this is not your area of expertise. This is more my realm. But if you want to say a quick word, the floor is yours, Anthony. It's all yours, my friend.
Okay. You all know me as the man who tells it like it is, and I'm going to be the man who tells it like it is. For the last 6 years or so, I've been what's known as a man of good faith, and you know, some of the things that New Jack did really rubbed me the wrong way, and I had a major offense to all of it. I mean, I did not approve of any of his antics whatsoever, and you know, I wanted to get that off my chest. But I do know he was a pop culture phenomenon. He was well known in the pop culture, especially in the old ECW, a la MF and Derek Ferrera. Derek Ferrera, by the way, reported this right around 7:30 this evening, about 3 or so hours ago. And even though I did not approve of his antics, this is still a death. And it doesn't matter if you liked the guy or you didn't. And honestly, I did not. I didn't care for him whatsoever. But at the same time, he is a human being, and you know, I'm not going to celebrate or glorify his life. Absolutely not. But I will say this though. I mean, he had a major impact on the wrestling scene. Obviously, they did a Dark Side of the Ring about him. I have no plans on viewing that whatsoever. I know Michael Bullock watched it, and I know Bullock will address that when we get to him. But the incident that MF was referring to, the mass transit incident, that's the incident, one of the most infamous moments in the world of professional wrestling. November 23rd of 1996 at the Wonderland Ballroom in Revere, Massachusetts. And Bullock knows all about that. We talked about it during our Smackdown chat. First one we've had of one of those in a very long time. And where Eric Koulas lied about his age, and it was a horrific incident a lot of drama, a lot of lawsuits, and all that. And that incident led to the cancellation of ECW's first ever pay-per-view, Barely Legal, which was scheduled to take place on Christmas Eve of '96. And Paul Heyman, in the rise and fall of ECW, he begged and pleaded with the Request, which was the pay-per-view provider at the time, and finally convinced the company that they had been misled. And the pay-per-view event was pushed back to April 13th of '97. And this was all over Inside Edition. Kulas and his family, they did an interview with the Inside Edition, and yeah, I mean, it was just absolutely horrific. And but that's one of the things that he was known for, an infamous thing that he was known for. And but like I said, even though I did not approve of any of his antics whatsoever, especially by the standards that I live by, the man of good faith and all that, at the same time, he is a human being. And this may be the only time I will not do the thank you for the memories or any of that stuff, because he's not really worthy of that. But I am going to send my thoughts and my prayers out to his family, his wife, and any of his family members or what have you. My thoughts and prayers are with you all. My condolences are with you all. And on behalf of all of us here at the Wrestling Forum, we're thinking of you at this difficult time. And it's just sad. I mean, so I don't really have much more to say on this. I mean, like I said, I didn't really know the guy. I mean, I didn't really follow the ECW like MF and Derek did back in the day. But that's really all I have to say on that. So with that being said, Michael Bullock, you told me during our Smackdown chat tonight that you saw the dark side of the ring that involved this man, and maybe you want to shed some light on that as I give it to you.
Yeah, well, like you said, I mean, first off, I want to send my thoughts and condolences to his family and loved ones. But I actually had the chance to watch that Dark Side of the Ring on New Jack, and let's just say, I mean, when I watched it for the first time, I mean, I was shocked with some of the things he did. I mean the Eric Kulas mass transit incident. I mean, where he literally bladed Eric Kulas, and even his father. Basically, he pleaded with him to stop it, but New Jack kept doing it, and basically he didn't give two whats about what he did. I mean, or about Mr. Kulas. And but the one thing that really shocked me about him too, and Fletch, I think you talked about it was the matchup with Vic Grimes. And first he tased the guy, and then he did something that literally made my jaw drop to the floor. He literally threw the man right off the top of that thing, and the thing about it, guys, they said that if he had hit the floor, Vic Grimes could have died. And the worst thing about it, that's what New Jack was trying to do. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing, you idiot? I mean, that was just beyond shocking. I mean, yeah, this man has a very complicated legacy because of some of the antics he did. But look, at the end, he is a human being, but my thoughts and prayers go out to him and Fletch. I don't know if you saw it, that Dark Side of the Ring on New Jack, but if you did, what were your thoughts on the whole thing? Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know if Dee Dee Woodson wants to get into it. But if not, if she doesn't want to get into it, I say Fletch. Let's just move right along with our with the talking about SmackDown.
All I'll say is my thoughts and prayers are with him because I'm kind of with Florio. I didn't really care much about him. I watched a few of the matches, so that's about all I'm going to say. So it's yours, Fletch.
Meth, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, guys. Okay. So, yeah, like I said, I knew this was going to be a very controversial decision or a very controversial individual. But look, sometimes wrestling has villains in real life. He was definitely one of them. Look, for all the faults that he definitely had, and there was a lot of faults. Look, there's a lot of figures that we can talk about who's passed away that has had very checkered and very not so great moments in wrestling. And I think to really open it up and to at least say what we had to say, hopefully it's just another side of the wrestling form that we're not afraid to push envelopes, that we're not afraid to dwell into a situation that might not be comfortable, but to know that as a wrestling community, we are who we are because we don't fake anything. When Anthony says after every show on Monday night that wrestling is indeed actually real, this is as real as it gets. Professional wrestling will go on as it needs to be. And I think, and I applaud Anthony and Mike Bullock. Thank you guys for your thoughts. And I know that was very hard. And I appreciate what you guys have just done. And with that, we move on. And we will move on with tonight's edition of SmackDown Lives from the Thunderdome. And we kicked it off with Roman Reigns, as usual, interrupted by Jimmy Uso. And it was really interesting because it kind of shows a narrative that Jimmy Uso is not going to be a lapdog, that he doesn't want to be Roman. And you saw the shirt that, well, I don't know how Dee Dee Woodson's going to feel about it, because I think there might have been some great offense on that shirt. And I think Mama might come out and threaten somebody with a checkered apron tonight because of that. But that was kind of a major fashion statement, to say the very least. But yeah, I really liked the segment. It was really strong all the way around. And look, we're going to have to wait and see how this comes out. But Jimmy Uso making a statement, and Roman tried to manipulate the situation, saying, you think you're better than me. You think you want to be the head of the table. You want to be this top guy. You want to do all this. What? You want to fight Cesaro for the Universal title then? You want to be the head of the table? Go. Be my guest. Do what you say you're going to do. You want to live up to the standard? Be it. Jimmy Uso said, all right. Cesaro, get on out. I call you out. I want to fight you tonight. And Cesaro gladly accepts. And we'll get that later tonight in our main event of the evening. But my goodness, man. I mean, Anthony Florio, off the heels of all that, and here's Jimmy Uso stepping up in prime time on Fox.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, MF, Roman Reigns' perfect existence is now muddied with the return of Jimmy Uso, and the result is the very real possibility, mind you, that Cesaro could and maybe will defeat the distracted head of the table to capture the Universal Championship on Sunday night. Just when it looked like Jimmy may have touched the nerve and forced the normally calm, cool, and collected Reigns to let his emotions get the best of him, the tribal chief went right ahead and manipulated the situation to his favor. We will have to see if things turn out in Roman's favor by the night's end, but this was another example of why his character is one of the coolest, most engaging, and compelling in the industry right now. And it set up a match for our main event this evening. Jimmy Uso called out Cesaro. And Cesaro, you think he's going to back down? Hell no, he ain't going to back down. Jimmy Uso versus Cesaro in our main event. And we'll get into that at the end. But for me, I would have to say this was the segment of the night here. No question about it. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, it's been quite a while since we've had a SmackDown chat. We finally had one tonight, and great way to start it off. A great segment to start.
Yeah, this was definitely a great segment to start. When you got these guys basically confronting each other, especially with Jimmy Uso basically, like you said, questioning Jay's loyalty to Roman Reigns, saying this is not who you are. You shouldn't even be doing this. But yeah, I mean, this was basically. I mean, he wasn't gonna take any nonsense, and then basically, yeah, that's when Cesaro came out and basically, well, after he was challenged by Jimmy Uso, and it's set up for the main event. So what happened? We're just gonna have to wait and find out. So good segment here. Dee Woodson, it is yours.
Yeah, this is definitely the segment of the night, and no, Fletch is wrong. I'm not gonna go off on the T-shirt and all that stuff because actually, in my opinion, I'm with Jimmy. You know, I wouldn't want to be anybody's either. I would not want to be the lapdog for Roman Reigns. I think Jimmy trying to pull his brother out of that is an awesome storyline. I hope we see some sense knocked into Jay before all this is over with. But yeah, this was definitely a great segment. Jimmy definitely standing up for himself, showing that he has the guts, or for lack of a better word, the balls to stand up to his cousin and say, "Hey, look, this is how I feel. This is what I'm going to do, and you're not going to change me." So, yeah, I don't have much more to say on it. So it's yours, Fletch.
All right, and then with that, we're going to move right on along with the first fight of the night, which was the WWE Women's Tag Team titles on the line. The reigning champions, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, put the titles on the line against Tamina and Natalya, and the winners of the bout in roughly 8 minutes, and new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions of the World, Tamina and Natalya. History was made at the Thunderdome tonight. Anthony Florio, The SmackDown women have done it. They have brought the belt home to the blue brand. The women's tag titles now is the home of SmackDown Live.
And you know what? I'm not even mad at it. I'm not. Oh boy, where to begin? I would probably give this about 2.5 or so stars for this. I can sum this all up in one word. Finally. Tamina and Natalya have chased the titles since prior to WrestleMania and absolutely deserve the chance to run with them. Their win here puts an end to a much longer than necessary run for Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, allows those two wrestlers to go their separate ways, and breathes new life into a women's tag team division that desperately needs it, aka shot in the arm. That Tamina has been with the company for a decade, has been in and around title programs before, and never held championship gold is somewhat stunning considering some of those who did during that span. The emotion she showed, the tears in Natalya's eyes as she spoke up for her tag team partner, and the energy in Pat McAfee's voice as he called the action helped elevate this one's significance and made it feel like a genuinely significant moment. I mean, Tamina's been with WWE almost as long as Cesaro has. I mean, around 2012 or so. I mean, she came in right around the same time as Cesaro did. You remember she came in with the Usos when the Usos were doing that rich preppy, when they had that look of preppy boys, you know, before they became who they are now, which is far better. But what a story here. I mean, it's not the first time for Natty. I mean, she is a former Divas champion, a former SmackDown Women's champion. Now she can call herself a women's tag team champion. She just needs to win the Raw women's title at some point, and then she can at least get a triple crown. She can't get the Grand Slam because the Grand Slam involves NXT, and I don't see that happening. So, but nonetheless, but for Tamina though, I mean, first time she's ever tasting championship gold, and what a moment! I mean, Bret Hart, Natalya's uncle, sent out a tweet wishing Natty and Tamina luck, and he said they didn't need it because he feels something about talent there, and he was right. I know Uncle Brett's probably smiling right now up in Calgary, maybe some tears of joy in his eyes, happy for his niece. But there are two men right now who are smiling down right now. First and foremost, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, the father of Natalya. I know he was probably doing that legendary laugh of his up there in heaven, saying, "That's my girl, that's my girl." Yeah, you know the infamous Anvil laugh. I mean, but and also smiling down, obviously, Superfly Jimmy Snuka, Tamina's father. I mean, was probably letting down some whoop, whoop, whoop up from up there. You remember how famous he was for that. So definitely, this will most certainly go down. May 14th of 21 will forever go down as the greatest night of Tamina's career for right now. Unless one day, God forbid, they actually decide to put the SmackDown or Raw women's title on her. You never know. But for right now, Tamina can call herself a co-holder of the women's tag team championships. First ever taste of title gold. Well-deserved. Congratulations to Tamina and Natalya. The women's tag team titles now under now in the camp of Friday Night SmackDown. Normally, as a Raw guy, I would be upset about this, but then again, considering who has them now and who they took them off of, I'm not even mad at this. This is one of those rare times I'm actually okay with SmackDown taking something from Raw. So well done, and also a shout out to referee Ryan Tran for throwing out that fountain of misinformation, Reggie. Glad you got him out of there. That definitely tilted the odds in Natty and Tamina's favor. No doubt about that. So 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star. That's the best I can go with this. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, what a moment. new women's tag team champions. And how about Tamina? Almost 9 years with the company, and she can finally say, I have championship gold. What a moment.
And it's about damn time. I mean, Tamina, like you said, she's been with the company much longer than Cesaro was, and she finally has championship gold, and nobody deserves it more than she does. And she can definitely be proud. And like you said, Florio, somewhere her father up in there is Jimmy Snuka must be smiling at her daughter. So, and yeah, I mean, Natalia should be proud of herself too, and her uncle Brett is definitely smiling right now. So 2.5 stars. I agree with the rating on this one. Yeah, what a moment that was. So there's really nothing more to add. So Dee Whitson, it is yours.
Definitely 2.5 stars. This was definitely a well-deserved win for the ladies. Yeah, both their fathers smiling down at them. Uncle Brett smiling at them. And you could see at the end, Tamina pointing up at the sky, giving her dad the tribute, and for that win and for the holding the title. They definitely deserve to. I guess you could say that to be the new Heart Foundation 2.0 here with the ladies, because they're second generation. And both of them are maybe from two different families, but they're still second generation, and they still proved and deserved every moment that they had tonight. And so congratulations to both of them. It's about time Tamina's finally getting some recognition for everything that she's done up to this point, and she's finally got some gold to prove that she's worth being here and that she's worth everything that she's done for the company up to this point. So I'm not gonna add too much more to its flesh.
All right, then we had a segment where basically Apollo Crews honored General Aziz by giving him the Nigerian Medal of Honor for all of the times that he saved them, but it was interrupted by three men that wants to be Intercontinental Champion. First Big E on the big screen, then Sami Zayn, then Kevin Owens. A big brawl ensues, and Adam Pearce made the announcement that next week on Smackdown, not at WrestleMania Backlash, which is a little surprising, but next week on Smackdown, it will be Apollo Crews, Big E, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens for the Intercontinental title Fatal 4-Way. So we had that. Then after that, we had was Rey Mysterio versus Dolph Ziggler, and Rey Mysterio wins the match in 12 minutes and 40 seconds. Michael Bullock, it is all yours, my friend.
Yeah, I thought this was a good match here. I mean, these two were definitely no strangers to one another when they obviously met in 2009 when Ray was the Intercontinental Champion at the time. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I'm gonna give this about 3.25, 3.5. I mean, basically, and you know what? It just amazes me how Rey Mysterio is still doing it at the age that he's at right now, and I definitely commend him for it, and I look forward to this Sunday. I mean, where we could have another moment where Ray and Dominic could be the first father-son duo to hold the tag team titles. So, will that happen? you'll have to wait and find out when we preview WrestleMania Backlash. So there's really nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it is yours.
Yeah, this was a very well done match. It was good to see these two going up against each other. They mentioned, that last week it was supposed to have been Ray and Ziggler, and due to Ziggler's big mouth, Dominic challenged him instead, and so here we've had 2 weeks in a row where the Mysterios have won. I'm hoping, good thoughts that they're not going to do the booking 101 where the whoever wins on the go home show loses at the pay-per-view, but right now both of them are coming off of a high. They looked really good tonight, and I expect to see really good things out of the Mysterios. So yeah, I'm going to probably do about 3.5 stars. A very well done match. So I look forward to seeing what they can offer, because they certainly sold it tonight. They definitely put it out there so that you can drag people into this pay-per-view. So yeah, it's your split.
Yeah, great match. Solid fight. 3.5 stars. You could even make an argument this was fight of the night. I'm even gonna call it. This was fight of the night. It was a solid match, no doubt about it. I am a little leery of the booking 101 because think about it. The Mysterios have won in back-to-back weeks. Yes, it's been with Dolph Ziggler, not with Robert Roode, but you kind of feel like the momentum is on the Mysterios, that you feel like maybe there's a feel-good moment coming. But WWE, they got the tendency to pull the rug out from under us. They've done it so many times that I kind of have this like I'll believe it when I see it type feel. But I right now I gotta say the Dirty Dogs might actually walk away from WrestleMania Backlash still the tag champions. I would love to see the Mysterios win it all, but something tells me it's not happening. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Anthony, it's yours.
There was one thing I forgot to mention going back to the women's match. Somewhere Luigi PS3 is letting out a Tamina. So I bet she was letting some of those out. And as far as that segment with Apollo and Commander Aziz, aka Dabba-Kato, that little ceremony didn't it remind you of the infamous segment from SummerSlam 1990 when Sergeant Slaughter presented Brother Love with that Great American Award? Don't you remember that? I mean, it kind of had that feel.
Yeah, it did. No doubts.
And I told that to Bullock during our SmackDown chat this evening, but I wanted to get a couple of things out of the way there. This was the fight of the night. No doubt about this. It kind of brought back memories for me. It kind of, speaking of memories, speaking of SummerSlam memories, I mean, this brought back memories of that awesome Intercontinental title match these two had as they kicked off SummerSlam 2009 at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. I mean, that was a solid 4-star match. This one was not quite as good as that one, but almost. 3.25 to 3.5 stars. This was the fight of the night. Mysterio and Ziggler can have a strong match on their worst nights. Their in-ring chemistry is as strong in 2021 as it was when they feuded over the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship in the summer of 2009. Their match tonight was solid and got better as it went on. Mysterio winning, yes, MF is right. It seems to set up the heels to retain, if only because WWE booking is typically 50-50. That is hardly the outcome one would hope for, given the time and energy that has gone into this rather lengthy feud. But it would not at all be surprising if WWE is waiting for fans to return to the stands before it eventually crowns the father-son tandem. And I also have that same feeling about another certain match come Sunday night. I'll get into that after. But nonetheless, 3.25, 3.5 stars. Fight of the night, no question about it. Great matchup here, no doubt about that. So, Bullock started this, right?
Yes, he did.
All right, then it's back to MF.
All right, then we had a fight that we could throw away here. It was Shinsuke Nakamura versus King Corbin. King Corbin wins the match in 3 minutes and 5 seconds. Kind of a funky pin type situation. He gets the win. He gets the crown at the moment, and he crowned himself. But then Nakamura lays him out, and puts the crown over on him, declaring himself, I guess, the new king of the WWE. And Pat McAfee goes absolutely ballistic, saying, that doesn't belong to you. What are you doing with that crown? Dude, McAfee had me rolling in laughter. He was, dude, I'm going to say it. He is a breath of fresh air for the Friday Night Smackdown crew. He's one of the reasons why I love Smackdown right about now, because he is such the good heel commentator. And guys, I know you guys, you needed to warm up a little bit, but 3 weeks in, dude, him and Michael Cole, I'm getting those vibes of Vince McMahon and Jesse Ventura during those days, man. I mean, I don't know how you guys are feeling about it, but that's what I'm getting from McAfee and Michael Cole right now. They just can't. Everything they've done so far, I've loved it. I'm enjoying it, guys. So, all right. Anyway, main event of the night: Jimmy Uso versus Cesaro. Cesaro wins by DQ at 9 minutes and 35 seconds. So, D.D. Woodson, I'll give it to you. Cesaro gets a lot of momentum going into his championship fight against Roman Reigns on Sunday night.
Yeah, he does. I'm not real crazy about the DQ finish, but I know it's storyline driven. I know it's all building up for the pay-per-view. But, you're wanting to get Jimmy out there to prove something, and then Roman gets involved and Jay gets involved, and it ends up being a big mess in the end, in my opinion. But the match itself, up to that point was going really well. I mean, they did very well off of each other. I'm going to probably give it 3 stars for the way the match was going. But I'm still, like I said, I'm not real thrilled with the DQ, but I understand why they did it for the storyline purpose and to try to get, all that back up so that they can draw that interest into that match. And then, there at the end, Roman chasing after Jimmy, and both of them pretty much letting Cesaro take out Jay. And then in the end, he does take out both of the Usos and leaves Roman standing up there on the stage with Heyman. Which, why in the hell is Heyman carrying the belt? Heyman didn't win the belt. Roman won the belt. Is he that lazy that he can't carry his own belt? I mean, come on. I'm not impressed with this character. It's getting a little old to see this head of the table thing. I'm hoping we'll eventually have something that's going to end it, because it's not one of my favorite things. Fletch wanted me to talk about wanting to take Jimmy out for his T-shirt. No, I think I'd rather take Roman out back to the shed and bend him over my checkered apron just to see if I can knock some sense into him, because he's definitely, in my book, he's not the head of the table. If you wanted a head of the table for the Samoan family, it would, for me, more likely, it would have to have been The Rock, because he still the biggest draw out of that family, even if he's not wrestling right now. So yeah, not much more I'm gonna add. It's yours, Fletch.
3.5 stars, solid main event, no doubt about it. Cesaro gets the momentum going into WrestleMania Backlash. We'll get into that in a little bit. Anthony, quick thought.
Yeah, Cesaro and Jimmy Uso had a damn fun match down the stretch, brought to a sudden end by the interference of Roman Reigns. The dynamic between Jimmy and Reigns ahead of WrestleMania Backlash is explosive and is making for one of the best stories in all of wrestling. Is Uso willing to set aside his own aspirations of dominating tag team wrestling with his brother to recognize what is best for the family and help Reigns win Sunday? Or will his own independence prove the downfall of the head of the table? That we are asking that question proves the effectiveness of the storytelling. Cesaro is on the hottest run of his career, and if the storyline can continue to be this compelling, he will survive what is sure to be a loss Sunday on Peacock. That is, if he remains in the Universal title picture. So, I can only give this 3 to 3.25 stars. Second best fight of the night because I frown upon DQ finishes as well, just like Didi does. So, not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, quick thought.
Yeah, I'll give it about 3.25. Yeah, we frown upon these DQ finishes, but yeah, Cesaro definitely gets the momentum going into the Universal title match. So yeah, there's nothing more to say. Fletch, let's move on to overall thoughts.
All right, and I'll lead off. It was an all right show. I mean, look, you had a great moment with the crowning of new tag team champions. Then you had a solid fight with between oh my god, I'm sorry. So with Dolph Ziggler and with Rey Mysterio, you had a good opening segment with Roman Reigns and the crew there. Then you had a really good segment that we didn't even talk about when you talk about Bayley and with Bianca Belair. That was kind of lost in the shuffle, but the way Bayley was being all funny, ha ha, everything else, until Bianca talked about WrestleMania and you felt the mood change. You felt it was like, okay, enough, haha. I'm about to beat your ass, bitch, because you crossed the line on me. So it was one of those. I was like, oh shit. So you had that going. So, I mean, SmackDown did pretty good. This was a solid 7 out of 10. Could have been a lot better in certain areas, but I mean, for what it was worth, a lot of storyline progression, and we also got a match for next week's show, not WrestleMania Backlash, but for next week's SmackDown with the Intercontinental title on the line. Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
Yeah, agreed. This was a 7 out of 10 as well. Of course, the standout moment of the night, obviously, the crowning of new women's tag team champions in Natalya and Tamina. I mean, special moment to say the very least. And but of course, the storyline progression of the Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso saga, that could have a major effect on Sunday night, no doubt about that. And Rey and Ziggler, what a match. I mean, I had a good feeling they were going to put on a good match, and they did. And this continued the trend of somewhat listless go-home shows we had this week in SmackDown. I mean, Roman's family drama, interesting. He plays his role exceptionally well, and Jay has done conflicted about what his as well as he can, while Jimmy remains a bit of a wild card. Cesaro almost lost in the shuffle because of that, but that also kind of sets him up to win if the Uso drama affects the match between Roman and Cesaro. So, but boy, howdy, I mean, we got the biggest match of Cesaro's career on Sunday night, which we're all looking forward to, and two guys in particular, myself and Michael Bullock, especially Bullock. I mean, he's been very vocal about Cesaro getting this opportunity, and I only wish that we had a real crowd, because if we had a real crowd, we easily could have brought back the Cesaro section signs in full force. And all of us would have had our Cesaro section signs ready and raring to go. So, but it's definitely a 7 out of 10 for me. No question about that. I'm right there with MF. So, so really not much more to say here. Hold on. I think I got my notes. My overall notes here. No, I'm good. So 7 out of 10 for me. Michael Bullock, let's get a quick thought from you, and then we'll get ready for, and we'll move on to Didi and get ready for WrestleMania Backlash.
Yeah, 7 out of 10 for me. I agree with everything you said. So, Didi Woodson, quick thought.
Definitely 7 out of 10. So let's move on.
WrestleMania Backlash will be this Sunday night on Peacock, live from the Thunderdome. And here we go, guys. 6 matches on the fight card as we speak. Starting off with The Miz versus Damian Priest in a lumberjack match. I'm going to go with Damian Priest. I think he's going to get a win. And I'm hearing rumors that he actually might get pushed up, where he might actually become a contender for the WWE Championship down the line. So I think they're thinking some major push for Damian Priest down the line. Nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours. I got Priest winning.
And as I said on Monday night, don't we all remember what happened the last time Miz was in a lumberjack match? We all remember. It only ended up being
by Bobby Lashley.
Oh yeah, he got squashed and then some, man. So it's not going to be quite as much of a squash as it was with Lashley 2 months ago, but it's definitely going to be Damian Priest, no doubt about it. Priest got a boost in profile by teaming with Bad Bunny to beat Miz and Morrison at WrestleMania. Miz does not need a victory in this match, where Priest getting the win helps cement that he's truly a player, aside from being the B-side in a celebrity-driven tag team. So Damian Priest wins. Michael Bullock, I think this lumberjack match for Miz is going to turn out just as exactly the same as the last one, only it won't be a squash.
Yeah, it won't be a squash, but yeah, I think it's going to be the same end result for the Miz, where he loses this one. I got Damian Priest winning as well. Didi Woodson, it's yours.
I'll make it unanimous.
Next up, we have on the fight card is the Dirty Dogs going up against Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio for the Smackdown Tag Team titles. Anthony, it's yours.
All right, what do I have here? All right. I know. Based on recent booking, it's setting up for the Dirty Dogs to retain. However, the entire selling point of this bout is seeing if the Mysterios can pull off becoming the first father and son tag champions in WWE history. Few title reigns have been as forgettable as the run of Rude and Ziggler, who have only defended the titles twice since winning the belts after the new year, around January 6th or so. It's hard to imagine WWE suddenly giving any weight to Rude and Ziggler now, when they can have an easy bit of history with a win by the Mysterios. So I've seen times where recent booking, we've seen, a challenger garner a ton of momentum, and then and then went on to win the title. So I can easily see it. I think they want to go for the history here. So winners and new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Whatever. Rey and Dominic Mysterio. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, do you agree or do you disagree with that?
You know what? I'm with you. I think they really want to go for this moment. I mean, I think they really want to try to make this happen. Now, whether it does, we're gonna find out come Sunday. But my prediction, I'm with you, Florio. Hey, if we're the only two that goes with it, you know what? Who cares? I'm going with Rey and Dominic to become the new tag team champions. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
I'm going with the Mysterios.
I'm gonna make it unanimous. New tag champions. I'm gonna call it as well. All right, next up, guys, we're gonna do it. Raw Women's title on the line. Triple threat. Rhea Ripley, Asuka, Charlotte Flair. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, this is well, this was originally supposed to be obviously a one-on-one match with Rhea Ripley and Asuka, but obviously Sonya Deville will. If Sonya and Charlotte are in cahoots, well, hell, they are in cahoots as far as I'm concerned. So Charlotte must have whispered something to Sonya and say, "Hey, I want to be in it." So Sonya's like, "Okay, you're in it." So yeah, so to me, I mean, I'm gonna go with Rhea Ripley to retain the Raw Women's title. I mean, I think it's too soon to take it off of her, and I'm just gonna put out a fair warning right now. I swear, if they put the belt on Charlotte Flair again, I'm going on a major Phenom rant, and it may be the same as it was when they had Rhea Ripley drop the belt to the Queen, or the NXT Women's title to the Queen at WrestleMania, and it may be even worse than that. So I hope it doesn't come to that point, but I'm going with Rhea Ripley. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I'm going to go with Rhea Ripley.
I'm gonna go with Rhea here. Even though the most obvious choice would be Charlotte Flair, but I kind of feel like it would be such an injustice and a major disservice, and I think a lot of people will be wicked pissed at Monday Night Raw if they pull that trigger and put the belt on Charlotte Flair again. I kind of feel like right now she doesn't need the belt. I think having her chase for the title is better. You could probably do it in a bigger stage at a bigger event and have Charlotte win the belt back. But I think you got to give Rhea the opportunity. You got to give her at least a chance to run with this belt. I mean, if they put this on Charlotte Flair, the backlash, and I mean this, no pun intended, but the backlash of Charlotte winning this belt is going to be insurmountable. That Raw's already has a bad situation going. You would make it even worse if Charlotte walks away with this belt. So Rhea wins it. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah. It simply feels too early to derail Rhea Ripley's title reign. Charlotte Flair and Asuka have had plenty of time in the sun, though both women obviously have years and years of success ahead of them, and should be in the same role as Bayley against Bianca Belair on SmackDown, simply helping elevate the new champion. This likely didn't need to be a triple threat given the other top title on Raw, also is being decided in the same style about. Charlotte Flair likely avoids being the woman to take the fall here, unless Alexa Bliss somehow involves herself in the match. I say the winner and still Raw Women's Champion Rhea Ripley, and I'm even going to give you a bonus here. I think Rhea's next Raw Women's title feud after this, perhaps next month at Money in the Bank, maybe, will be that unhinged Alexa Bliss. Think about that for a minute. She said she had her eye on someone this past Monday night on Raw. I think that someone might have been the Nightmare. Just saying. Rhea retains. MF, let's move on.
We now shift gears to the SmackDown Women's title. Bayley versus Bianca Belair, which I believe, Dee Whitson, you lead off. So who do you got?
I got Belair. I think it's too early for her to lose. And, you guys said it in the last one. Bayley's going to be here to basically help, boost her. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Belair.
I agree. Bianca Belair, look, the road that she had up to this point was incredible. Her path to the title was unbelievable. It was incredible. It was amazing. And now here we are with her taking down two of the biggest women on SmackDown if she's able to pull it off. And I think she will. There is some people who is not really happy with Bianca being the champion. A lot of people don't like her on her, I guess, your promo skills is what it is. There's been a lot of heat. There's been a lot of hate. For what reason, I don't know. But I'm going to say it. Winner of the bout and still SmackDown Women's Champion, the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair. Anthony, it's yours.
There's no real drama to who gets the win here. Bayley had a long run carrying the SmackDown Women's division before the title transferred to Sasha Banks and eventually to Bianca Belair when Belair beat Sasha Banks at WrestleMania. Belair's title reign is not going to end at WrestleMania Backlash, but Bayley will give her a solid, credible opponent to continue to build her own legacy as SmackDown Women's Champion. Winner and still the SmackDown Women's Champion, the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair. Michael Bullock, I'm sure we're going to make this unanimous.
This is unanimous. I'm going with Bianca Belair to retain the title. It's way too soon to take the title off of her. Bayley had a good run, but it makes no sense to put the title back on her. I mean, I understand people don't like her promos or her being the champion. I mean, for what reason? Like you said, Fletch, I don't know why. But you know what? My message to those people who are hating on her, if you don't like it, if you don't like her or her holding the title, then don't watch the damn show. Move on, Fletch.
Yeah, nobody's forcing you to.
No. Next up we have is the Universal title match. Roman Reigns versus Cesaro. Man, this is tough. Because obviously going into this, I think we all could agree that this is probably going to be Roman Reigns' moment. But, I mean, the way that they're building this lately, I think the sentimental is Cesaro. I think there's no doubt about it. Everybody wants to see Cesaro win this belt. Everybody wants Cesaro to win the title, finally become the champion. You get the belts. I don't know how this plays out. If we do it there, I think that's the way I would do it more than anything else. So we'll see what happens. But for me, I think Roman Reigns is going to keep the belt. It's going to be tight. Anthony, it is yours. I got Roman winning.
Yeah, I'm going to give a scenario on that in just a moment. But first, everyone, all of us, and everyone here at the forum, everyone has waited for years to see if Cesaro will finally get, quote unquote, his time as a world champion And now he gets a major platform where he has to battle the most dominant champion in the company to reach the mountaintop. It's hard to believe WWE will actually pull the trigger on putting the belt on Cesaro, though it would be an incredible moment and one we would all love to see. If Cesaro does get the win, however, it feels like there'd be a little more build than the Backlash match has gotten. That sets up Roman Reigns to score a cheap win, possibly aided by the Usos, both Usos, to drive another month of build to a rematch. Now, you remember earlier I mentioned about waiting until they get real fans back in the stands. If you're going to have Cesaro win, if you're going to have Cesaro be ultimately the guy to dethrone Roman Reigns, the next big event that's going to have fans, as we all know, is going to be SummerSlam. Now, I've heard a rumor about SummerSlam, and I told this to Bullock earlier during our Smackdown chat. MF and Didi, you're hearing this for the first time. 2 possible venues are being rumored for this year's SummerSlam on the tentatively scheduled date of August 22. One of those, the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. And the other, what do you think about Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas? Could you imagine if they do SummerSlam there? Whew. That would be awesome. I mean, it would be the most pumped I would be for a SummerSlam since '92 at Wembley, for goodness sakes. But that's the hot rumor that I've heard. This year's SummerSlam, possibly in either Madison Square Garden, or they go really big and go for Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. I mean, that would be insane if they do that. But nonetheless, if Cesaro is going to be the guy, I would rather do it in front of real fans instead of virtual fans all of the Thunderdome. Do I want Cesaro to win? Hell yes, I do. I can speak for all of us. We all want Cesaro to win, especially myself and Michael Bullock. I mean, Bullock will obviously go wax poetic on this in a moment, but as much as we want to see it, our heart tells us to go with Cesaro, but unfortunately, we have to listen to our gut here. Winner and still the Universal Champion in what I believe will be a hell of a match, a possible fight of the night contender. I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being the fight of the night. You never know, but winner and still the Universal Champion, the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns. So, Michael Bullock, as I give it to you, we all want it. Don't get us wrong, but I don't think there's anybody on this panel who wants to see Cesaro get his big moment more than you do.
Exactly. I mean, this guy has been with this company 9 years, and now he's finally getting an opportunity at a world title. And yeah, I really want to see him. I really want to see him pull it out. But like you said, I mean, I would rather have him do it in front of real fans than with virtual fans. So, as much as I really, really, really want to see Cesaro become the Universal Champion, unfortunately, I don't see that happening. Winner and still the Universal Champion, the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns. And by the way, Didi Woodson, Roman Reigns just called. He wants you to acknowledge him as the Tribal Chief. It's yours.
No.
I kind of figured you'd say that, so.
No, there's no way in hell that I'm acknowledging that Idjit as a tribal chief. There's no way. No, like I said, he's going to go have a little session out in the woodshed. So, and he can bring Paul Heyman if he wants. He can bring his cousins if he wants. Although I think Jimmy would probably help me beat the crap out of him at this point. If the Usos get on the same page with him, then I could see this being 4-on-1 because Heyman, he gets involved too. He'll distract the referee if he needs to get his guy over. And of course, we know Roman has used Jay several times to win. As like you said, as much as we would love to see Cesaro come out on top, there's just too many factors pointing that Reigns is going to retain this, and hopefully, this will build that feud between the two that'll lead right into SummerSlam. So, not much more I'm going to say. I'm going to make it unanimous. So it's yours, Fletch.
All right, and we do lead off with the main event of the evening for the WWE title in a triple threat. It was Bobby Lashley, the almighty WWE champion Bobby Lashley, going up against Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman. Anthony Florio, it is yours. Who do you got?
Only fitting the Raw guy leads off on this because this is our main event right here. Braun Strowman's inclusion provides a lot of outs to keep the issues between Lashley and McIntyre as the focus on Raw, without either man having to get a clean finish of the other. There's not much of a chance Strowman gets the win here, and a very large chance that he's the man who eats the pin. It feels like the right time to switch the belt to McIntyre would have been at WrestleMania, where Lashley picked up a surprisingly clean victory. Lashley winning by pinning Strowman doesn't do much to advance any issues with McIntyre, since he already holds the clean win over McIntyre. What does drive the issues between the two forward would be McIntyre lifting the title by pinning Strowman rather than Lashley. So I could see a scenario where Drew McIntyre regains the WWE Championship and does it without pinning Bobby Lashley to do so. I could see that happening. I really could. But for right now, I have to go with Bobby Lashley. I think Lashley is the guy to beat right now. And would I be surprised if Drew were to win the title here? No, I wouldn't. But just like with Cesaro, if you're gonna have him win the title, you gotta do it in front of fans. But then again, they had the chance to do it at WrestleMania, and yet they didn't do it. They pulled the rug out from under us. They threw us a major league curveball, no doubt about it. But my heart's telling me McIntyre, but my gut is telling me to go with Bobby Lashley. So I'm going to listen to my big gut here and say that the winner of this match and still the WWE champion is the almighty Lashley. So I'm going with Lashley to retain here. So nothing more to say here except would I be surprised if Drew won the title here? No, I would not. The only way he were to do it is if he were to score the fall on Strowman, because there's no way they're gonna put him over Lashley. No way. So that's the only way it happens. But for right now, I got to go with the Almighty. I think it's still a little too soon to take it off of him after how long he had to wait to get it. So I'm going with the Almighty. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, what says you?
Yeah, I'm with you, Florio. I got to go with the almighty Bobby Lashley to still be the almighty WWE champion. I mean, he's waited this long to win the title. I think it's too soon with the role that he's on to take the title off of him. So, Bobby Lashley is still the champ. Dee Woodson, it is yours.
Yeah, I can agree with it. As much as I'd like to see one of the other two win it, I don't think they will. I think Lashley's going to retain, and we're going to take this feud into the next pay-per-view. So it's yours, Fletch.
I agree. Bobby Lashley wins the match. He's going to keep the title. That's it, guys. On Sunday night, right after the pay-per-view is over, about 10:30, possibly at 11, we will recap it. We will talk about it. Anthony Florio, Michael Bullock, Dee Woodson, and myself will recap this event. So until then, guys, we'll see you guys we're going to see you guys on Sunday. Dang, Bullock just left. I was going to talk to him about maybe doing the Bruins beat. So we'll figure it out. We'll see from there, guys. So yeah, we'll wait after about 10:30 possibly then. So we'll see you guys on Sunday, and good night.